islands, to the place where I belong. 'Cause I'm needing to be breathing where the ocean meets the sun. Save up every penny, just spending good time. When the palm trees time swing, the weather just fine. Sun soaked body, liquor soaked mind. Pure vida living with the lowest stain amount of fresh food. Good noodles in the lap and you need it. Let you get used to this feeling that you're feeling. Beautiful people, beautiful vibe. The culture in this air will make you happy. Your life. So I'm going to the islands, to the place where I belong. 'Cause I'm needing to be breathing where the ocean meets the sun. Taking all my worries, gonna check him at the gate. Gonna go to the place where I need to be. Sitting on the beach, spend my days in the sun, with the sand on my toes, drinking coconuts with rum. Someday we gotta see, no work, let's play. Paradise will wash problems away. No hurry to leave, living a dream, going to the place where I need to be. 'Cause I'm going to the islands, to the place where I belong. 'Cause I'm needing to be breathing where the ocean meets the sun. No, I won't slave here from 9 to 5, trying to pay my bills. Yeah, I'm trying to survive. I need to go to where I belong. Where I belong is down in the islands. 'Cause I'm going to the islands, to a place where I belong. So I'm needing to be breathing where the ocean meets the sun. So I'm going to the islands, to the place where I belong. You know that some never live, others die doing what they love. Big up yourself. Reach into my pocket, looking for some change, for the man on the corner to ease his pain. Times are hard, my friend, I got nothing. Only wishing that I could give you something. He said, open your eyes, as you got all that you need. You see a world like me, when everything means something. 'Cause it's step by step and day by day. Empty your head, it will be okay. Stay true to yourself, don't ever stray. It'll all work out, tomorrow's a new day. Open my eyes, couldn't believe what I see. All these people smiling, dancing around me, singing open your heart, what's to be will be. Stop you worry, what's your hurry, because now we see all we need is inside of you, inside of me. Currency, The more we have, the more we need. Is it step by step and day by day? Empty your head, it'll be okay. Just stay true to yourself, don't ever stray. It'll all work out. Tomorrow's a new day. Sunrise light in the morning, reveal dark. Help me feel, just crack a pill. Let's run the fuck in and chill the fuck out. We're celebrating now, you're here. Showtime is near. Then burn some pills. Coming straight to you, no fucking around. The big buddy's here.
Going on, you absolute champions. It is Saturday night. You know how it is. Beer Buddy's back. We got a Jimna special. We got DANNO on tonight. He's been on before. We can't wait to have him back on again. Tonight we got a very special intro. We're starting off with a bit of a song, so let's say hello to everyone. How's going, champions? Cheers, you. Good to have you back, JOHAN. And tonight we have two special friends. We have, I hope I get this right, Ari and Pablo on the drums, mate, and they are literally going to kick off tonight with an absolutely amazing song. So let's get the night started. We get the very first one. Hold on. How much more live do you want?
No matter what happens, you just gotta know life is for living. Around the world. We got these money and you want to follow you gotta say this love to everybody around the whole wide world. Wherever you want to get this love. I just want to get this like a stream that you want
You absolute champions. Thank you so much for that. That is so awesome. What a way to kick off. What a way to kick off podcast. Just, you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for that.
Thank you.
That, if you all want to know, that is a taste of Jimna. That is a little bit of a taste of what's going to come up at Jimna. Pop your head in. Pop your head in. Come on, say hello.
We got one more for you guys. You want to do
I love it. This is Saturday night at the Muso's houses.
we got Well, let's just say that 2020 was kind of one of the guns started to get up and so have to go to the vibration when your system is low. It's just a lot that work on the bed up each other. So I feel that they get out here, we just sit up and just walk up and pass what they need to do. It's time for us to get out of here. Just relax and follow the sweet sunshine, sweet birthday. You know, it's all the colors of it. Sweet sunshine, sweet birthday. You know, it's all the colors of it. It's so different than what you used to for the other now, but I'm going to tell you. And all you do is sit down in the middle of that chair and watch you on your television and your phone. It's not for us to heal the whole world. We're starting with you, and me. And let's just let the sunshine reach you, because that's all we need.
Sweet sunshine, watching with my worries all around me. Sweet sunshine, sweet meditation. Sweet sunshine, sweet meditation. Watching with my worries all around me. Sweet sunshine, sweet meditation. Watching with my worries all around me. It's a beautiful day, man. So why don't we go sit back in the sun and enjoy the summer that we got? We got everything we need to go. And we got around the world. Don't worry, cause the day will be fine. Relax your mind and let your heart to the vibe. So, sweet sunshine, sweet meditation. Watching we know it's all around the way. Sweet sunshine, sweet meditation. Watching we know it's all the way. You got it, John. If you did. We're live right now.
How good was that? If you want any more love than that, people walking in front of the camera, the whole thing was beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you guys so much. Jimna Rocks, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Repping it. What a way to start a show. Oh, man, that was something else. That is the first for me. That was unreal. You people are amazing. Oh, that was so good. Oh. All right. So, Johan, let's introduce the beautiful people that you have behind you properly. Introduce them to the stream.
Hi, I'm Ari.
Ari, all right.
DANNO here. We got Ryan, our bassist as well.
I saw you in the background, you sneaky man.
Yeah, we got our friend Amara over here as well.
Man, we got everyone cracking in tonight. How good is this?
Oh no, we fixed it. That was a near calamity, folks.
Ivan, how you going, man?
We fixed it, you know.
Oh. Man, thank you so much for that lovely introduction for tonight, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Seriously, thank you so much. Oh, it's Jimna, my friend, Ivan. It's a little town in Queensland. Jimna, I like it. Oh, I get it. Sorry, my friend, Ivan. Wow, you're crazy. You're bringing it in with the heat tonight.
Look at that. You got all the legends here.
Look at this. This is beautiful. I like it. Let's get a good look at everyone there. How you're going tonight? Saturday night in the madhouse, in the band house. What is going on?
Living the dream, brother. Living the dream.
Seriously, you've got Jimna coming up.
Yeah, we're also we've been working on new tracks. I just released an album, Dakota Soul, and I've been working on new tracks to just kind of bring back my roots of growing up in Florida. And we got Pablo, he's come over from Spain, and he's been bringing the cajon. We've been playing shows and just bringing like the vibes, you know. And Ari, like I met her last year at Jimna, and this year she's playing.
Man, that is amazing. It is so good to see you all doing so well. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have you all here. Jeez. I was sort of just expecting to talk to Johan tonight. You guys just threw a whole curveball. So, wow.
You know me, brother. Whenever I do it big. And
dude,
I got amazing people around me that I love, man.
Dude, that's so beautiful because I was looking up on you. I always try to, the week before and stuff like that. And I saw that timeline you brought out and it was unreal. Like,
thanks, bro.
yeah, dude, you live like a serious life, my friend. Like, you broke the corporate chains, and you've just, I don't know. It's like mate. Essentially, you broke the corporate chains, and you said, "Fucking 9 to 5. I am going to do what makes me happy and what brings me my bliss." And not many people can say that they do that, and not just do that, move from a completely different country and do that, and then look at the beautiful people that you have around you, my friend.
Well, it's, the most beautiful part is when I had my corporate job, like, even there, like, I had my manager at the first time. He was a rocker. He played guitar, and like, I did a good job. And like, I feel like wherever you are, whatever you do in life, if you look after the people around you, the people around you look after you. And that was the moment where, like, even they pushed me. They're like, dude, do music. Like, your heart and soul's in it. Like, and we'll come to the shows. So, it's like, it takes a village. It takes a tribe to have courage to step forward. And, if we don't dim our light and we move forward, we inspire others. And that's all I want to do with my life, man, is just be a space for people to grow and be themselves.
Man, that's so awesome. That's such a beautiful thing. That's so good. Oh, I can't believe it. You got, like, look at it. So you've got Pablo that's come from overseas. You've got
we got South Africa, we got Australia, we got Spain, we got America.
It's a beautiful union. It's a beautiful union. It's amazing. Man, you've literally rendered me speechless. I don't know where to go from that actual live set. Like, yeah.
Actually, when I'm back in Florida, like, I had this profound moment where I was like rushing and trying to make it. And I got on TV, and then like I had this thing that the ladies were asking me, like, you travel and did a lot, and I'm like, well, the more you travel outward, the more you travel inward, and like I'm at the stage in my life where I'm just beyond grateful, like, for the friends in my life, and I just feel like that's the music we're writing now, is just to bring joy to people around the world. Like, it's been hard for everybody, and I think acknowledging that, like, yeah, it takes guts to chase your dream. It also takes guts to raise a family. It takes guts to do anything right now in this world. And if us as musicians, we can spread light and bring love, like, that's what a musician's job has always been, to let people escape, and be inspired and embrace a new version of themselves, get out of their head and in their life,
Man, I feel ya. I've got 2 little cherubs of my own that I'm trying to raise at the moment with my beautiful wife, but
they're probably legends, just like their pops.
Man, they are. They sit here while I set up the stream, and they pretend to do the stream, and they love it. They love it. Man, but I feel ya. Like, it's such a hard world to navigate at the moment, especially just like after COVID. I'm going to be a real jerk at the moment. Johan, can you sit in the middle, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're heaps tall. That's perfect. And just squeeze in. That's perfect. No. I'm sorry, you're just a touch taller. Yeah.
Yeah. What can I say? Like, I'm just trying to be the tall one, the scarecrow of these guys.
Man, nah, seriously, thank you. I'll just move my fat head.
I got my raise. I'm outstanding in my field, the scarecrow.
I'm really sorry. We do this on the fly, man. I'm sorry. That's what it is doing it live, but.
You're perfect, bro. It's like, I don't know. As the scarecrow of the crew, they don't want to have me hang out too much and get all the birds to the stand up there.
Man, my favorite scarecrows are. It's gonna sound really weird. Did you ever see? Have you ever seen The Wiz?
No, I've never seen The Wiz.
Oh, dude, you want to know who the best scarecrow is? Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah,
man, seriously, watch a great Christmas movie. I watch it with my kids every Christmas.
Well, actually, Michael Jackson gave me the best term ever. It's called Fishing with the Universe. Have you ever heard it?
No.
So Michael Jackson, there's a story where he was like, driving in his car, and he's like, man, I was driving in my car one day, and I heard a song on the radio, and the song was like this really good bass line, and I'm like, ooh, such a good bass line, and I'm like, man, I really want to have a bass line with that, so I went fishing with the universe, I sent it out there, and the next week I'm driving in my car, I'm like, oh, that's it. And I'm like, yes, that was on the studio.
If it was only that simple, jeez Louise.
No, but I think it's like the one thing you learn about music and art is you know, it's kind of like a meditative process. The more you're attached to things, the more things go wrong. But the more you detach and you just trust and send out, the more they come back to you. You know.
Man, it's the age old saying: if you love something, let it go, and if it's meant to
It's
be,
like
it'll come back to you, and it'll come back to you in a bigger thing than what it's meant to be. 100%, 100%, dude. So we've obviously seen what we can expect from Jimna, like quite clearly. It's just it's out there now. Like
Actually, we just trialed a sax player today as well, and we're getting keys. So this is like, I'd say half, and we didn't have Ryan on the bass. So, but we're talking. This is like the free sample you get at Woolworths or BWS. It's not the first string, baby.
amazing. I love it. I love it. See, there's always room for growth. There's always room to do more.
Yeah, brother. And I'm happy you're digging the album, and big love to everyone that's been streaming around the world.
Man, Dakota Soul is a very, very, very solid album. I actually have a little bit of a story to tell you about that, man.
Well, quick story, interesting. That was the one we recorded with my crowdfunding campaign.
Really?
We recorded that 2016, and all my management told me to do single by single. And a couple friends were like, dude, you should release the whole album. And I wanted to celebrate 6 years being a musician and to thank all my friends and fans, and that's why I released it, so everyone could have it.
Man, it is a fantastic piece of work, especially like the new release of Gypsy Lady, which is playing in the background now. It's an absolutely fantastic song. Beautiful.
That's great with the sax player. He was loving that one. That one, and loves my medicine. He's loving that one too.
Man, you've done some seriously good work. You should be very, very, very proud. I was sitting and my story is I was sitting at work and last week, and I'm like, okay, I got Johan on, which means gets played at work all week. So I'm sitting down and it's getting played, and a couple of guys at work are sitting behind me at work, and they're just like, "This isn't what you normally listen to, Kyle. What are you listening to?"
Yeah, you're a rocker, dude. I know.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's an understatement. But no, I was like, man, I had this guy on before. He's a fantastic musician. He's like, I don't listen to rock and roll. I love all music. Music is food, and if it's like eating one cracker every day, you're gonna get bored of that cracker. So you got to eat. Music is a buffet.
People have always said, like, Johan, like, you write so many musics, you do different styles, and I'm like, well, like, music for me is like emotion. Someday you want high energy, someday you want chill, like. And Dakota Soul, I tried to make it as a journey where it's like there's the higher energy going to the chiller aspects, because I feel like us as a people, when we are younger, we're in that high energy state and trying to find ourselves and going through a lot, and then we kind of mellow out for a little bit, you know. And I wanted to kind of lead that into my next album, which is going to be this like surf root ska, like with just love and good vibes dripping from it, you know.
Oh, well, man, after that video you put out today, I'm not surprised. It was a beautiful video, man. So this Friday, why shouldn't we be getting some of that? Why shouldn't we be getting some of that love?
Yeah, and that's honestly, when I was traveling, I was living out of a suitcase for so long, and I was, homeless as a musician, and it was that thing. I felt like a burden after a while, like looking for places to stay, and a friend goes, no, like, look at how you can be a blessing. And she's like, dude, just be yourself. Don't be in your head. Just be present and be positive. And I do that because, it's the more I give, the more I get. And if I can give love and positive energy to people, like, that keeps me going. It fills my cup,
Man, that's amazing. You're such, dude. Okay. So here's my thing. So after looking at your timeline and speaking to you the last time we spoke, right? You had some shit happen to you. Like, in all seriousness, it was like you had your guitar stolen. And okay, so let's look at your timeline.
Yeah.
You went to college or whatever it is in America.
Yeah.
You obviously pulled off a very decent thing where you could come out to Australia and work in marketing straight away. So
yeah.
What's that? 4 years? So 22. Like, from what I saw on the timeline, 22. Yeah. You bought a one-way ticket out here.
Yeah, it was actually funny. When I was in college, I was doing music, and I was in a band, and I released an album to thank everybody called Han Solo. And And when I was kind of like, I met a bunch of Australians, and I was a little bit kind of not really, I'd say, low in the dumps, but I was kind of going through a lot. And I talked to my mom, and my mom goes, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I want to see how big my balls are, and I'm going to sell everything, go to the other side of the world, because there's so many things that can kill me there. But I'm in Florida, and I love Florida, but I feel like I just got to take the jump. And, it's like I got a one-way ticket, and you'll love this. Every time people are like, are you going to Australia? Like, how long are you going? I'm like, 1 year to life. And they're like, that's a prison sentence. I'm like, it was a penal colony, like.
Exactly. It was here long before you guys were worried about it. Nah, dude. But look, man. Like, look at what you've done. You've moved to the sunny Gold Coast, and you're thriving, dude. You look amazing. The album's amazing. Like, you just and from what I've seen with your self-help things coming up and stuff like that, and just the amount of positive energy that you just project into the world, and that's, I guess in a world of so much chaos at the moment, it's such a hard thing to find. It's like, because I find, like, man, I'll be the first one to admit, I'll be the first to sit there, scroll. You know how it is.
Yeah. 100%.
And then your video came up, and it was just it was refreshing. It was very refreshing, man. 100%. It was it was nice to be told that there was something else going on in the world other than the chaos, and someone just say, "Hey, you're beautiful. You're fucking awesome. You can fucking do it."
Yeah, and I also have this man right here, Ryan, to thank.
Squeeze him right in. Yes.
With this guy, for years, he's been bass, and after my guitar was stolen, he came over first thing and sat with me and lent me his guitar. Like, he's been such a good friend, and just a shoulder and a good friend to hold. Man, good friend, dude. Good friend.
Man, and that, look, in all seriousness, it's like you've come to this foreign land, and look what you found. You found basically a whole new family, in a sense, and that's such a beautiful thing, because the whole thing of love thy neighbour doesn't seem to really apply anymore. But I guess if you actually talk to your neighbour, that you find out that, hey, they have some problems and they might need some help, and and you can actually be a bit more active in the community by just talking to people and just helping that little bit, like a guitar.
Well, and I have a big love to my mom, because when I grew up as a kid, my dad left for Tasmania after they got divorced, and my mom, she would always bring all the neighbors together. We'd sit and play music, and we'd bring all the kids together, and she's like, it takes a village to keep you sane. And the thing that I found is, I don't know, when I left Florida, I was always running to something. I was running away from, thinking things would change, and I was running towards something. And eventually, that, they say ego is dirty fuel, and eventually it gets to the point where you break or things happen and people just are there for you. And you kind of come to the realization, you don't need to travel and achieve all these big things, because you can go very far, but those silos, fortresses of solitudes, will be echo chambers for sadness, and emptiness. But if you can focus on growing roots and just being present with the people you're with in the moment, taking a breath, having a drink, laughing,
hola.
Make the big things small.
Well, I think in a big way, you've hit the nail on the head there, because people are so absorbed with the world, or with the big, because we've got the internet now, and we can find out what's going on in any corner of the world at any time at the moment, that we forget about the person sitting next to us.
Yeah.
And that's 100% true. I'm guilty. I'm 100% guilty of that. 100% guilty of that. And, it's
they say we do the best with what we know till we know better. And it's I've been spending the last year working on a course for mental health, and for mixing as well with my music, because I don't know, it's not a time for us to just sit by and let people with other intentions take over. That's why I shared the video. What I'm trying to do, what I'm doing is future generations and current generations, like the world is being shaped by this, like us talking small shifts make big waves, and like you said, like the people who are going to look best after you, they're not going to be the people you're worshiping on social media. It's going to be your neighbor, your friends, your family, and the more you invest in them, the more they invest in you.
Man, I could not agree 100%. Dude, it's like, if you're going to base success off Kim Kardashian, you are never going to get there. You are never going. You may as well. It's like I read this. I read this thing. It was like if you're gonna call a fish stupid for not being able to climb a tree,
yeah,
it will always think it's dumb, but it will never. But it will never realize what it's actually capable of. It can fucking swim. It might not be able to climb a tree, but it can swim. It can do so much more.
Yeah.
Man, it's just how did you come about getting into this sort of self-help program sort of stuff?
I would say you got to go through hell in order to create heaven on earth, and I definitely have been one, like, I had a beautiful childhood thanks to my mom, but we definitely went through a lot. And in my teen years, like, I lost some of my best friends. I buried most of my best friends, and I think that's why I appreciate my friends. And I've been homeless multiple times. That's why I appreciate a home. Like, I am in an attitude of gratitude just because, everything I've had, I've lost. And through that, I've realized I have nothing to lose, and I have everything to gain by just being present. And yeah, like, we don't know how many days we have in this world. And my thing is, you don't need to have all these accolades. I achieved so many things, but those don't matter as much as what people you leave with them, the feeling, and the time you spend with them. Because in the darkest of moments, like, you can be somebody's light, and that's simply just showing up. Like, and it's funny where, like, I find when I'm having the worst day, like, if I spread love or talk to somebody random, like, and I turn their day around, it turns my day around, and mindfulness has, like, I definitely have had a long history with depression, anxiety, which is what this course I've created about mindfulness, because it's changed my life. Like, our thoughts, like, if we live in our head, we're dead, because we're just analyzing and reflecting. But if we're present, like, it's a gift. That's why they call it the present. It's a gift,
Man, so I remember seeing that on that I know it's a really bad example, but I saw it on Kung Fu Panda when I was watching it with my kids.
That's a good example. What are you talking about?
and he does that proverb. He does it. And I'm just like, wow, that just really hit home. It was like, what was it? Yesterday can't be changed, so forget about it. Tomorrow hasn't happened, so don't worry about it. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Amen.
And
I know it's I definitely can say like, my life I've lived so far, it's just little moments. It's little moments that can impact us. And I definitely, like, when I left my corporate job and I traveled around the US in a car, I traveled, like, playing all these major cities and trying to get discovered and trying to, like, make it, like, I'll never forget, after I did the TV, I talked to my friend. He's like, "Can I be honest with you?" And I'm like, "What?" And my friend Anthony Hall is amazing. He's been signed to Sony, like, traveled, done a lot. And I talked to him, and I'm like, "What do you want to say?" He's like, "Dude, you'd be a good manager." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Don't get me wrong." He's like, "You need to do the artist path." And I realized that artists have a role in society. We always have. And that's to dive into our emotions and to make people be okay with feeling what they feel. And in order to do that, like, I've had to go through dark nights of the soul. I've had to face my shadow and embrace it. And that's where the real music comes from. Like, the good music comes from not just, I bring light and sunshine, but I go through the darkness to bring light to those in the darkness. And that's the best I can do, man, is just be present and trying to create a better world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I love it. It's the whole yin and yang thing. It's like, without man, it's so true. But that I don't think people really understand the gravity of what you sort of gave up to, like, to sort of live that. Did a beer just manifest in your hand?
Yeah, that's what happens when you get, like, you have a team, like, Things going really well.
It's just appeared. That's amazing.
Speaking of duality, God, can I have a cider?
Doesn't love me enough.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just saw it come down. I'm like, did that just happen? What? Yeah, it's like you but people don't understand. And this is why I love talking to you, because I'm going to be the first one to admit it. I'm maybe a little bit of an anarchist in a sense, but I guess to rebuild, you have to destroy to rebuild, in a sense, in that sort of frame. But I mean, you speak about it too. It's what did you call it? It's the depression to
expression.
Yeah, depression to expression. I mean, like, how if people live this beautiful, perfect life all the time, what are they going to ever know other than perfect and beautiful? To love something enough to feel, or to be destroyed that hard to feel that you can build yourself back up, is much more than just having this beautiful plateau for the whole time. I guess it makes you appreciate the simple things a little bit more.
You definitely hit it. Like, Robin Williams was one actor I loved, and he would always say, like, he tried to make people laugh because he knows what it's like to feel sad and empty. And when he played these roles, like, he went to the depths of it. And I truly feel like you need to have your roots go through hell in order for your branches to reach to heaven, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
and like you said, the duality, like, creation and destruction is like, Kali Ma and Shiva and like every religion, like there's the balance of that, like the darkness and light, and both create one. Like, prime example, you ever watch Lord of the Rings?
Oh, I haven't made it through all three. I get halfway through the second one and fall asleep.
Well, check this out though, like, prime example, Lord of the Rings or anything, but they have a good saying, which is who was the number one energy that brought them all together and was the biggest champion of the light?
Well, I wouldn't have a clue. I haven't seen them all.
Gandalf, Frodo.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't it be
actually Sauron, the bad dark energy, because the elves were killing the humans, they were killing the hobbits.
I get it now.
Everybody killed each other, but because there was this opposing destructive force, everyone rallied together, and that's with this world. Like, like every balance, there is a counterbalance, and as much as we may want to hate and be anti this, like, Mother Teresa was always pro. Like, she won't go to an anti-war rally. She'll do a pro-peace. And Martin Luther King didn't say, I have a plan. He said, I have a dream, because people get behind something that matters. And sometimes that thing might be an opposing force wanting to destroy you. Or it could just be the feeling of like this, like wanting to step up, like, hey, like, I've dealt with this, and I want to relieve people of that. Whoever we are, no matter what walk of life, we have something to offer. And once we see that, we no longer feel alone. We have purpose.
Man, that's amazing. That is an amazing outlook. It's just, I guess in a sense, the way that I've sort of had I think people are an expression of their experiences. In the weirdest way. It's like
it's their sanity of sanity. Like, you have to like, be your unique self, because it makes you feel like you stand out. It's just being who you are, no matter how weird it is.
Well, at the end of the day, 100%, because everyone has a story, and no two stories are the same. They may be similar, and they may be similar experiences, but in no way, shape, or form are they the same. Especially the way that you experience them and the way that you feel them. You can't. But in saying that, that is where self-help programs, and stuff like that, even like where you like that Jordan V and Jordan Peterson, stuff like that, and there's that who's that new Indian dude getting around?
Oh yeah,
he's done. So he had
Sadhguru.
Yeah, the Sadhguru. Yeah, and I think people take too much note into the whole aspect of this is the way you should live your life. It's like, no, just read the book and take the bits that you want.
Yeah, Yeah.
And you can't put so much emphasis into words on a page, even where it's like religion. Like I was watching Joe Rogan the other day, and I think he had a rabbi on, and he was just going, "Look, man, the Bible is just a myth. The whole thing's a myth, but it's a myth to make you think. It's a myth to make you think deeper than what you could possibly be and what you could actually do in the worst of the worst situation, but what you could actually do just day to day."
Yeah.
And I think stuff like this, like as much as I may think some of them, certain people that do these self-help programs are just full of shit. I'm sorry, man, but as soon as you start going like, you got to buy this supplement and that supplement and this and this and this, you're like, come on, man, come on. Like I've seen one or two dudes. I don't even want to mention their names. I can't remember their names, but I've seen like they do like awesome self-help programs, and they have helped a lot of people, but then it's like you can buy these supplements that you can buy from Woolworths.
Are you talking about Project Knowledge?
I think I am. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, you got the electromagnetic frequencies of this now, you need to ground yourself. But buy this chonga supplement and these mushrooms. And it's just like
that's what I'm saying. It's like, but this is where your one's a bit different. And I'm like, okay, you're talking about experience that you've had and knowledge that you've learned to grow as an individual, and hopefully someone can relate to that and expand on their lives in that way.
Well, it's so what I did with this is firstly is that somebody who's gone through depression and anxiety, like I made it clear where like everyone has their own journey. So I'm not in a space where I'm like trying to tell people what to feel, but I'm trying to provide mindfulness activities. Like the whole course I've created, like it takes 3 hours because people have busy lives. And like the idea I had is it's an inner compass where like you have your north, your identity, you have the east, which is your passions, south, which is your growth, and the west, which is your mindset and your habits. So it's your inner, we all have an inner compass. And when it's off, we don't know how to make decisions. We don't know how to move forward. And I'm not trying, a lot of people cash in on consciousness, and I wanted to create something where it's simple, but it has from breath work to meditation. It has every element that has helped and supported me, in the hopes that, I put it where there's 4 people I know in my life that I care and I love deeply. And I created with them, like, what, if this can shift them feeling lost into having a direction, an identity, to connecting, these things together with shifts, small shifts. Like change is hard. Like we try and change so much, but I think shifts are easy. Like a small shift is like just a small change where like one day, you don't do it, that's all right, no judgment. Like the next day is a new day, and just having the tools, and I call them defense weapon and power tools, like having those things help you like manage and break it down, because life is waves. Like like if our pulse goes up and down, and if it's flat, we die. And people like in society think you'd always be high, and like the lows is where we get the most beautiful music. The lows is where we get inspired. The lows is what changes our lives.
You name me one non-damage artist, I'll be here all night, brother. I'll be here all night. Actors, anyone, everyone's, we've all got damage. But in saying that, when you talk about tools and stuff like that, we are running the most complex machines that are walking this earth.
Yep.
These machines run electricity through it to manage it, to make it move, and a heartbeat keeps it all going. And we are running the most complex, mate, computers, whatever. We are running a fix up the camera. It's gone the wrong way. The camera's gone the wrong way.
Oh no!
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, we are running the most complex machines that have ever walked this earth. Like we communicate, we eat, we live, we breathe. But yeah, like what is it?
Absolutely.
What is it? Like,
yes, there we go.
And that's
we're plugging this thing in.
Beautiful.
There we go. Because I want to make sure we don't lose any of this
amazing
conversation. Yeah, and it's funny you say that. One of the things I have is I talk about. You ever heard of grounding?
Yeah, man, walking around barefoot to connect yourself with the earth. I try and do that when I hang up when I hang out the washing every now and then, or play with the kids in the backyard.
Yeah, one of the conversations I have in there is like not long ago there was cocaine and Coca-Cola. Not long ago, like in the early, it was like the late
70s, late 70s,
1800s.
early
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, they used to like prescribe all these heavy drugs for even kids, and I personally feel like we're going to come to the realization not long that because of all these Wi-Fi signals and because of all these different signals going on, a lot of that is affecting our balance of our body, of how we think, of how we operate, and always being on our phones. So grounding, like getting your barefoot out is on the earth, is just a simple way to get yourself back to equilibrium where like your cells are talking to each other, and it's not spiritual woo-woo anymore. It's science and mindfulness and just metaphysics coming into space.
No, I couldn't agree more, man. There's nothing I love more than when it's a nice sunny day, when it's not pissing down rain and flooding out at my place, that I can lie down on the back grass and just have a beer after I mow the grass, and I love it. I love it. I don't know about the Wi-Fi signals. I know they muck around with bird flight. Like, I actually found out that AM radio mucks around with bird flight paths. So
Yeah.
like with the magnetic frequencies, I heard about that. I don't know if that 5G stuff's going to do anything, but I just want really fast internet so I can upload all this beautiful content. I just want 5G so I can upload all this beautiful content heaps quick and not have to worry about lag time or anything like that. That's all.
And I've been in the content space, and I've always like people are like, get rid of 5G and knock it down. I'm just kind of like, I've been in the tech world, IT. I'm like, what? Like, I really like having high speed for sending files and doing stuff. I'm like, I'm ground myself. I'm balancing myself. I'm okay.
You mean I can go live all the time and not have to worry about any lag? I'm in. Give me it. Give me it
When I
now.
went from the States to here, like we were getting Google fiber optic, and I got here and I was like, this is internet here? It's like, I was like, how do you guys live?
By buffering. That's how we live, by buffering. Nothing worse when it happens on a porno and you get frozen on a dick and you're just like, oh no!
And then your friend walks in, you're like, I swear it's not. It's like the chicks never came. The chicks never came.
I did that. Oh. So,
Yeah, but getting back to music, we are so excited for Jimna Rocks.
yeah, man. Like, okay, so we got to talk about your Jimna story because it is one that is just fantastic. So,
Yeah, it's an absolute epic story. Yeah.
Sorry, I've got to get my beer. Oh, by the way, these guys are sponsoring Young Henry's.
Yeah, shout out to Young Henry's. They've always sponsored all our events. One of the best beer brands, that they always look after us. Much love to those boys.
Great.
And also to MMK. Like,
Oh, man.
all this comes together thanks to her. Karen, we love you.
Oh, Karen. But Greg from Young Henry's, I did send you an email. Come on, brother, hit me up. I just throw that one in there.
Like, that's actually what restarted my career last year at Jimna Rocks.
Yeah, dude. Like Karen was saying, please do tell the stream. Get you all beautiful in there. Please do tell.
Yeah, so what happened actually is I had last year after my guitar got stolen, and then I was in a bit of a funk, and I was like, and this camp out, and I was like, I don't really know any of the band except for Wayward Sons, and Brad of Wayward Sons, one of my best friends, and Jesse and Kate, all those guys, they were like, dude, like, just message Karen, like, see if you can volunteer. And I didn't really know her at all, and I messaged her, and she's such a beautiful soul. She's like, oh, like, we kind of have like enough volunteers, and she looked over, but some musician friends, and it's okay, just come. Like, she's such a, and I was already really celebrating her. And as I'm driving there, and I'm just kind of happy vibing with my friends, she messaged me, oh, like, there's actually a solo act that canceled, and would Johan be down to play? And I was like kind of taken back. I was like, okay, well, I haven't played in a couple months, and then my friend Mitch Lancaster, he's there with Dreams of Indigo, and he's like, dude, you can use my guitar. Like, and like, he's such a legend. I was like, okay. And then that night we were down at the fire, and that's when I got to meet her, and it was great. All the bands were jamming, and that's when I met Ari as well, and she wasn't singing at the time, and she sang a little bit, and I'm like, dude, you're a singer. Like, you need to sing.
He gave me this massive talking to where
I do that.
I had been wanting to get into music, and I'd already kind of started down that path, but I was having so many hits. And then I met Johan, and we jammed around the campfire, and he gave me this big talking to where he said, you're an artist, you're a singer, you need to be doing this. Basically, why are you not doing this?
Helping the community.
And it was the push that I needed to actually start putting myself out there. And so I've been forever grateful for it. And yeah, we've been hanging ever since, and it's just been a real big life-changing thing for me, which I've been so grateful for. It was where I met Ryan and
Ryan actually, real quick, not to take over.
No.
It's so funny because the next day, like, so what happened is we're at the campfire, and like, I just took the guitar, and like, you know, I'm an old soul where I grew up in Florida playing music, and we involve everybody. And like at the campfire, like, remember, like, people were kind of like in their own pockets, and I think it's cool, but like, it's a camp out, like, so I'm like, no, like, one of the guys like trying to hand me the guitar, he's like, you play, and I'm like, no, dude, you play. So he played Incubus Drive, and we all sang together, and we got the whole crowd in, and then I didn't even know Karen was there, and she's smiling, and then like, it was like, after that I hand the guitar off, and it went quiet, and one of the organizers, he's a legend, he comes over, and he does the merch. He's a legend, and he just like, I don't know who you are, but here's your guitar, and I'm like, I'm just, yeah. And then what happened is, like, I don't know who you are, but you brought the vibe, do it again. And I'm like, I'm good. He's like, it doesn't matter who I am. What matters is the fact that you get it. Now go do it. And so we had the whole campfire singing and playing, and the next day when I woke up, I went to play. There was another band that canceled, and Karen goes, hey, like, you know, I loved you at the fire. We had a great hug and chat. And she's like, would you be down to do a full set, get a band? So I'm like, yeah, 100%. And then I ran around the camp, and Ryan wasn't even there. Ryan wasn't even there yet. And I got Jesse from Wayward Sons, and I got the drummer Sonny from Wayward Sons, and they were going to play with me. And then, so we got up on stage, and then he came in last minute, and we just played on stage, and it was so electric. Like, it was like healing for my heart, man. And he brought so much good vibes, and it was one of those serendipitous moments where,
man, how much more of a sign do you want from the universe?
Yeah, like, and like, Karen had a really rough day that day because of a circumstance with somebody, and like, we were playing Can't Always Get What You Want by Rolling Stones, and then Come Together, and I was trying to get Ari on stage to Come Together, and it was like just the energy and the people, and we got off stage, and I'm hugging Karen, and she's like, I don't know who you are, but you helped me through a difficult moment, and I got your back. And I looked at her, and I'm like, you just brought me back to life, Karen. Like, I love you. And we became best friends for that day, you know? Like, she's such a incredible woman that supports live music, you know?
Mate, Karen is something special. She did the same thing for me, basically. Put me in contact with you.
Yeah. She's a lighthouse, man. She brings a lot of light and a lot of love, and sometimes she doesn't get the recognition she deserves for all the hard work she does for everybody.
No, well, you should tell Karen, and both of you should tell Karen that she needs to come on Beer Buddy, because I want to have her on before I go up there.
Yeah.
She deserves to have her story told. She deserves 100% to have her story told. The amount of effort, the amount of work.
Cheers to Kaz.
she puts in so much hard work.
Mate, you know what the big thing is? For the life of me, like, I sit in my house, drink beer, and talk to you people. She does all those, like, she's put on a festival, she put on Jimna Rocks 2022. How many years has she done this now?
Well, Jimna Rocks like the second or
So
third.
this is the second year.
Yeah, there you go.
because she's working full time. I think it's full time.
Yeah, she's got another job.
Manages two places while then pulling off Jimna Rocks. It's incredible.
That's why I was so happy to do this.
Up and coming bands, she's I've traveled the world, and there's just certain people where in your heart they're in it for the right reasons, and yeah, just shout out to her and gratitude for all she does for all us musicians.
I'll tell you what though, she can pick a good fucking muso. Nothing. I was sitting there, and I hopped on the MMK promotions page and shit like that, and I'm just like, this isn't like some. I like music. This is like, no, I know bands. Like, I know music. Is that a didgeridoo?
Yeah, the didgeridoo's to me.
I can't circulate. I want to be able to play one so bad.
A didgeridoo not know how to do something.
I didgeridoo not know either.
She really does know how to pick musos and have a strong bond with everyone. And
plus, Jimna is on anything you're ever gonna experience, in my opinion. You get to you're at this camp out and you're hanging out with all these people, meeting these amazing people. You're late night dancing to bands, having a good time, and then an hour later, the guy or girl you were just talking to goes on stage, and they're this incredible, talented band. You're like, I was just drinking out of a Viking horn with that guy. Wow, and he's amazing.
Was that Crave?
Yeah. It's just a thing where you see those bands and they bring we bring so much to the table, and what I love is you were there last year, Ryan, as well. Some of the most humble, down to earth people, so talented and so heartful. Shirley Medicine, if you haven't got your ticket, I highly recommend to come, because it's a once in a lifetime experience, and it's not something that's every year. It's going to get bigger. Next year's going to be huge, no doubt, and this year's going to be big. And yeah, it's just a once in a lifetime experience. I can't put it into words.
I am going.
Yes,
I'm going, yeah. And I think if the Facebook chat from the old band boys serves me well, I might have one or two of the old band boys that I was in the band with kicking around with me. So it'll be so good. Oh, dude, it's going to be so good. I have a 4-drink minimum to sing.
Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of that. We'll
good.
Make sure you're 3 sheets for the win.
Good.
You'll be singing Sweet Home Alabama with me.
My vocal cords just to be loosened up.
I think we
did do that.
Yeah, it's going to be next level. What? So this is the thing that people don't understand. It's like, when you get your ticket to Jimna and you can actually go and you get the camping stuff, you get to meet everyone that's playing, you get to talk to everyone that's playing, you get to sit around and drink in everyone that's playing. It's gonna be a really good time. It's so different to what the norm is of a festival.
100%. It's like how Woodstock probably might.
Yeah, it's and then big bonfires, so it's like Woodstock and Burning Man.
Oh, I don't know about Burning Man. I'm in the States. I can tell you Burning Man, I ain't been able to go, but that's another world. This is a world in its own, but
it's family-friendly Burning Man.
This is perfect as it is.
Oh, yeah. Up close and personal with so many talented people who inspire you.
Because, what I heard from Burning Man is, you can have one tent, which is, the yoga meditation, which is right next to the anal fisting tent.
Whoa. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. And,
this ain't a family-friendly show. Go on.
I'll be running a guided meditation and yoga in the morning.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah, I got requested to do that, and I'll be guiding people to be present, to let go, and some good meditation for yoga for your back and for your neck, and just to start the day of being loose. Loose as a goose. The last
thing you're gonna want is my hungover ass going.
Oh, well, actually like yoga, like there's laughing yoga, like it's about literally just letting go and relaxing to start the day loose, you know.
I heard this beer yoga. I'd be like,
Have you heard of beer yoga? It's sick.
I have. I'm so down. I'm so down for beer yoga. I want all the beer yoga. I'll be the beer yogi.
Maybe it can be beverage yoga.
Actually, that was my
yoga.
kid name in California was Yogi Bear. Beer Yogi.
Yeah.
You
Do it.
can call it. Now I'm gonna stay right here.
Well, man, it's like borderline. You like the rock and roll yogi. Like I've never met a musician where so much shit has happened to them, and they still can transcend the whole thing of not letting their music turn into this angry sort of state of mind. And you've actually gone, okay, I'm going to actually take this energy. I'm going to turn it into something that can help people.
Yeah, well, I think also, like, I don't know, when I was younger, I was a rocker. I was listening to heavy rock and metal, and I was thrashing and going crazy, you know, and, like, playing heavy rock. It was, like, kind of Perfect Circle meets Incubus was my first band. And I have a lot of friends that play in those bands, and I think it's powerful, but I had a friend of mine, Josh C. Dreads, who's playing as well. And we had this moment where we were doing cover gigs. And I remember it was at Melba's, and he told me something that stuck with me. And he said, "Dude, we're playing like Let Her Go, you know. You only need the light when it's burning low.
Yeah.
When it starts to snow." Yeah, that's my. Anyways, it was like the sad songs are nice, but he said this thing where it's like, you know, like, you ever thought that people are singing it back, and like you're either having people hold on to an emotion or a moment, or you're helping them step into something that I really empower them, make them feel good. And that was when I went, dude, like, I'm done singing sad songs. I'm done singing angry songs, because I want, you know, like, I only have a couple minutes with people, and if I can brighten their day and bring joy, like, that'll bring my day and bring me joy. And like, that's a recipe for peace of mind, you know?
No, I feel you. I do understand what you're saying. I actually do find a lot of peace of mind with heavy metal. Like, I'm a metalhead. I'm dirty ass.
Oh, you gotta thrash every once in a while. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
My friends, they just played in Brisbane tonight, actually. Eternal Torment.
yeah. I haven't got my pen. Eternal Torment.
But they're incredible. If you ever want to talk to them, Chris from South Africa, Eternal Torment, they're thrash metal and crazy good.
Yeah,
and
man.
like, we go those songs and we're like, yeah, yeah.
I'm
But you
down.
gotta let it out every once in a while, man.
Well, that's where I find my therapy. You know, it's like, I don't know. There's nothing more of a better feeling than when the music makes me want to rip my teeth out and put my head through a brick wall. Like, it's just like, there's just the adrenaline that gets going, because I guess the mundane of life, of the 9 to 5 and all that stuff, is just like, it's just, but that's the beauty of music. And like, people don't understand it. It's like like, yeah, I'm a metalhead, but I love your music. I love all music. Music is just everything to me. Like, music is just all around you. It just all depends on where you're listening to. You know, it could be the sounds of the crickets, or like, I'll put a little soundboard on on my little stream deck for my kids. And just so they can play little sound bites and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll put one with the you know, like, if you say a bad joke, the crickets go. So I got that one on. It just loops, and my son hit it today, and he's just sitting there going with the crickets. I'm like, where did you find that? You just found music. Like, you just bop it away to the beat. Like,
Yeah, you gotta get him a gong one day.
oh, I will. I've talked to the wife, but I will. But man, so now I actually didn't know that about you. They actually listen to the more heavier stuff, because it doesn't.
Dude, like, this will crack you up. Have you ever heard of the band Nonpoint?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you watch their first video, What a Day, I'm actually in that video when I was 16 years old.
Don't lie, because I'll put it on the stream and we'll check it.
Like, it's hard to see.
Now it's hard to see me.
That Nonpoint, like, that was right in my hometown. Right, like that was the band I started, and I used to listen to Cold. I love those guys, and
Yeah?
they're really nice. And Seven Dust.
Oh, Seven
Uh,
Dust. Seven Dust is mine and my wife's all-time favorite bands. It's like Seven Dust come out, we both go to that show. Kids go to the
they're so
parents,
good.
like my mum and dad's house. Like that's it. We're going to concert. We were watching Seven Dust.
Yeah.
It's love Seven
Yeah,
Dust.
man, I'll have to send you like a photo. Like I'll never forget. Like I'm wearing like these long like Jinko jeans and like my chain wallet, and like we have black shirts, and we like made our own Cold shirts, and we're like sneaking into the show, and like we seeing like Static X, and like we were just like I was heavy in the metal and rock, but unfortunately I discovered pot and Sublime, and then like things kind of changed.
Okay, Pot and Sublime I both found,
Yeah.
but I didn't change.
Yeah, I think it was. They changed me a little, but I was like 15, and I was with the wrong crowd, and people were starting to get heavy drugs and gangs, and small surf town, but just heavy stuff. And my neighbor Andy was like my older brother, and he was just a smiling, happy guy, and he got me into Bob Marley, and he got me to study, and he would always say, he's like, everything you do becomes you, like what you listen to and what you do.
Man, 100%. Experience and what you intake is only going to be a reflection of what you put out. What you take in is what you put out. People don't understand that. If you take in negativity all the time, all you're going to project is, I'm fucking culprit for that. Like I'm very self-aware, getting older, and it sucks. Self-awareness sucks.
You know what's good about getting older?
What?
You give less shits about the things you gave a lot of shits about when you were younger.
Dude, 100%. 100%. I could not agree more. Oh, that is so true. That is. They go that, but this is the one thing that spun me out. It's like the things I don't give a shit about now because I'm older. People are just whinging about nonstop. It's like, oh, he said this to me, I'm gonna sue him. Oh, like Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah,
Like,
but he's selling out shows and tours now, so that slap was worth it.
yeah, that's true. But whatever happened to
I will take a slap in the face if I could sell out my shows.
Yeah, well,
I love you, Will.
thank you. You just made me a millionaire.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know, that's a whole. My friend sent me this photo, and it was like a guy in World War II, and he's writing this letter, and it's like, "Dearest Penelope, it is now day 3 of the Will Smith memes. I do not think it will ever."
I saw that. That was so good. Like, whatever happened to the court jester not allowed to being slapped? Like the court jester was never allowed to be killed. He could say whatever he wanted about the king. No, that was the whole point of the court jester. The court jester was the only person in the kingdom that could literally say, and what it was, it was a test of character towards a king. So what it was if the king didn't subject the jester to being beheaded, yeah, it was cool. He could take a joke. So court jesters just have free reign, and that's what comedians are. As soon as you start, but that's any artistic nature.
Yeah.
Like, you can't suppress artistic nature, but really, realistically, it all depends on who absorbs it.
Yeah, and Chris Rock absorbed that slap so well, like a true champion.
He was gonna.
You watch the video how he navigated that. You're just like, I think he deserved an Academy Award after that.
100%. He was gonna knock his ass out. He was so close to knocking his ass out. It would have been so fun. But I think.
Like, Will Smith just slapped me.
But in saying that, okay, like I sort of did inject that as like a little bit of a segue into like the self-help sort of part that you bring into it, and I think once again that's more of a reflection of Will Smith's character rather than anyone else's. Like the fact that he let Chris Rock, if he let Chris Rock get into his head, or he let his wife manipulate him like that into the extent where he hit Chris Rock. And the fact that
and it's also like we were trying to figure out if it was real or not, but I don't know, with everything that's happened, like it's kind of like bad timing for Will in certain ways, but it's also like, I don't know, there's so much uproar about it, and I kind of laugh with it because I grew up in Florida, and I'm just saying, like, man, as much as you're on the top, you can't forget the fact that they got some incredible ghetto side to those legends, and like it's gonna come out every once in a while, like, and you gotta acknowledge that about it, like they're human beings, you know?
yeah, man, look, don't get me wrong, I don't blame Will Smith for slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. I don't blame him, but unfortunately, you're a public figure.
Yeah, man.
And you're up for grabs as far as like getting shit put on you is concerned. But what isn't up for grabs is getting slapped the shit out of in the Academy Awards. That's like, because here's what got me. He apologized to the Academy, but the Academy paid Chris Rock to be there that night.
Yeah.
So it's like who the fuck you apologize? Like they just paid Chris Rock like $150,000 to push shit on you. Yeah. Why are you apologizing? The least you could have done is be a man and just gone, don't talk shit about my wife. Anyone out there that talks shit about my wife, I'll slap the fucking shit out of you. Be a man. Yeah. Like own it. I love Russell Peters, man.
It's like he's talking when he's trying to get like the whole like person thing. He's like, oh, be a man. You tried to come back to buy purse, maybe I sell the purse.
Yeah, 100%. And just I don't know, but it's saying
for the interruption, the drama. But if anything, he probably boosted their views so much.
Yeah, like I guarantee you, like there's plenty of people in the world that have no idea what the Academy Awards is, and now they do. Mm-hmm. So
100%. Oh, dude, that's a good conspiracy theory. They've done it to make it relevant again.
We were actually talking about it the other day, where my friend was like,
"That's a good theory."
Real. And then they're like, oh, look at Chris Rock's face. He kind of goes to the side. Like, it brought so much attention to the Academy Awards because people aren't watching it, you know?
I like it. I love me a good conspiracy theory. That's fucking good. That's a juicy one.
It is out of character, but at the same time, like, I don't know, Will Smith's a really smart guy, so maybe he's, like, behind the scenes just trying to help Chris Rock's career, and they're actually friends. Maybe that's another conspiracy. Maybe.
I got enough money.
They're actors. They're both actors. Like, come on. Like, they're both actors. Like, people are like, it was real. And I'm like, have you watched their movies? They're both really good actors.
They are. To be MIB is just
porn star. Like, they were really good in bed. Like, well, duh.
Asked it. That's a Dan Bilzerian question.
He's a character. Hey.
Have you met? Do you know him, or have you met him, or?
No. If I did know Dan Bilzerian, I don't know if I'd be over here.
I'd borrow money off him. What you got? What you got, Dan? What you got?
Like, if you ever listen to this podcast, he was ever out there, man. Like, I would hang out with that dude anytime just to kick it. He seems like a character.
Man, look. This is where I sort of come into like.
Hugh Hefner, man.
Nah, I don't like the life of excess.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Capitalism, to an extent, is awesome. Like, you know, the fact that anyone can go out there with a good idea and make money is a really, 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 really good thing. But the fact that, like, you can make like $100 billion and be the richest person on earth, and you could literally like cure world hunger and stuff like that. And from what I've heard, there's like another conspiracy I'm going to drop on you is that like multi-billionaires get told they can't go save countries. They got to sign it. Yeah, they're like, man, you think about it. Jeff Bezos could fucking cure world hunger. Like Elon Musk and like if all of them joined together, they could just be like, no one's going hungry ever again.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if you gave everyone $1 million tomorrow? The
It would
world,
just go back to the same people that have you heard.
the world would the world would collapse because no one would go to work.
Yeah.
No one would go to work. No one I wouldn't go to work. If I had $1 million, I ain't going to work.
We actually just watched. You ever watched Rick and Morty?
Mm.
We watched the no. We watched Get Shifty, but the next one was the multiverse. Yeah, the miniverse, and it's just like, yeah, see, but then they create this energy, and then after that, and he's like, it sounds like slavery. He's like, no, see, but then they do jobs, and they help each other, and they sell stuff, and they have property. It's like, sounds like slavery with extra steps.
Yeah.
Man, they just created an economy and kept us all slaves. You got to think the education hasn't changed the education system hasn't changed for the last 100 years. They don't make great people; they make great employees.
Yeah,
that's all the school system's there for. It's literally there to sit you down for 8 to 10 hours a day and make you go to one place, do your work, go home. That's why C students hire A students.
Yeah.
Have a look at all the people that are multi-billionaires. They didn't go good in school. They hire everyone that's good in school.
Well, it's actually funny you say that. Like, I was talking to Ari the other day. Like, this program I'm creating online is because the realization I had, which is, I've worked with younger artists and teenagers and all these different amazing kids, and they're very smart. They're very intelligent in regards to realizing, like, you don't need a degree to try and get a job for a corporation that's gonna not use you anyways. And they're using the internet, they're using YouTube, they're creating their own business, their own brand, they're supporting each other, they're starting their own business. And it's like a thing where for the mass majority of people, they might do university because it's what people say to do, but eventually it's going to shift where they're going to see they can just create their own business online and do their own thing. And that's why I'm like, well, if I could do anything, I want to create something that will support them when they're dealing with anxiety and depression and everything that we deal with, and have those tools that I've learned over the years. Why? Because when schools, they're for profit, even though they're nonprofits. And I personally think higher education is a great place. Like, great research comes out of there. I'm not downing schools. Like, there's so much usefulness for it, but I don't feel everybody needs to go to school. And like you said, like, plenty of people I know have degrees, but it's a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of people I know do YouTube and apply it, and they're making paper. So they're making money. Which one is more successful? Well, the one that applies what they know, not the one that sits on what they know and does nothing.
No, dude, that is so true. That is so true. Like, but so you've obviously had that higher education process where you went to college.
I got
and
a master's degree.
Exactly, and that's what.
Years.
How do you find? Because you did it in marketing, didn't you?
Well, so my undergrad. So I did my undergrad in marketing. Actually, real quick, funny story. When I was in college, I was on the third team. I had a band. We were partying like I was in my social chair of the fraternity. We were having these crazy events, and I was doing marketing. And 1 year before I graduated, I realized I was like, a marketing degree is a sales job at the end of the day. So I actually added an extra year in order to get a minor in information systems management, working with SAP and major software. And when I did that, that led to me getting a scholarship to get my master's degree here at Bond for a master's of business in IT.
Jesus. So you, man, how, after all that, moving, if you don't mind me asking, what was your first job sort of walking out of that?
Well, so I was, so funny enough, when I first was here in Australia, my job was I was operating limousine nightclub tour. I was a VIP manager and surfers running parties for a year. And I was the guy, so I did that for a year. And when I had to go to school. What I realized is I did Bond because it had the highest outcome for graduates. And I'm like, if I have to get a student loan, I need to ensure that I go somewhere where I can get a job. And because of that, when I was in my master's degree, they had a program where I worked for the biggest software in the company, SAP, software company in the world. Like 97% of the entire world's GDP goes through an SAP system. Like,
SAP.
that's what runs. Yeah, SAP. That's what runs Coca-Cola's entire operations. That's what runs all the banking operations around the world. And I actually had an internship with them, and it was unpaid, but they were so incredible at the time I was there, and I applied myself, and I'll never forget. This is the best thing. Like, I was the first American to work there. It was all like Russian, Germans, and Indians, and they were like just incredible people that took me under their wing. And I would walk into a room, and like I was always the dumbest one in the room that wouldn't know anything, and like everything they were saying, I had like a notepad, and I was writing down. I'm like, okay, what's that? What's that? Like, and my friend Mark, he's a big security analyst now for I think it's the Super Auto Group now, and he said something that stuck with me. He's like, Johan, do not say I do not know that. You write it down. You go 1 minute, then you go to the bathroom and you look up Google, and then you see what it is, and then you come back and you know a little bit, and then you come and you say the little bit, and then they give you more, and then you learn. But if you say you don't know this, they laugh at you, and then they put you over there as like the dumb American, you know. But he's like, you got a master's degree to learn Google is your best friend.
Dude, man, and this is what that is it Jordan V? Is that
Gary V? Yeah, Gary V.
Gary V? Sorry, Gary V. And that's what Gary V says, man. He's like, what is the fucking point of going to schools when you can sit there, click on a button, ask your phone what it is, and it's going to give you most of the information. I learned how to run this whole fucking thing off YouTube.
That's how I've been able to book all my tours and do everything, man. Is like just researching online, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, you think the internet's like 30 years old, the way we've used it, like everything's changing.
Yeah.
You know?
The whole game's changed. Do you find that your marketing degree and stuff like that has actually helped you out in sort of transferring into your music and stuff like that? Because it's one thing to obviously write good music and all that stuff. But then there's that other aspect where you got to be able to sell it, because there's so much music out there these days, you know, like especially with Spotify and stuff like that now. It's just out there constantly.
Yeah.
Do you find it's your marketing degree maybe has helped a little bit in the process of getting music out there?
Well, actually, funny enough, the school I went to, University of Central Florida, and I'm so grateful for them. I got a certificate in entertainment marketing. And I actually got to have a class where it's like we would have questions where you're like, all right, you have an unknown artist and they're from this area and they have this budget. How would you market them? And I have to go, okay, well, they're from this area. Well, first you figure out like what social groups they're in. Like, are they in a religious group? Are they in a sports group? What are they? Okay, who are their friends? Who are their influences? Like,
wow.
Where you're actually understanding less about, it's not marketing as regards to looking at the market and seeing how to make a hit. It's understanding that person's circle of market, the people that they know, and how to create an authentic representation of themselves, and how to actually put it out so that people will get them and support them and build that initial momentum. So they're not trying to just get playlists. They're like somebody like me, where like, you know, I have good friends around me and good focus on what I do, simply because I have that understanding of, you know, what every element of who we are is an asset. Every element of our quirkiness is an area for us to build community and build momentum.
That's, man, here's what gets me, yeah? Yeah, it is. No, and look, this is why I love doing this, because it makes me take a different approach into what I do.
Yeah.
Because speaking to everyone's got different strategies, everyone's got different ideas, and what you do with your self-help thing, like with your self-help thing that you're bringing out, you're not giving anyone guidance, you're giving someone tools.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference. It's like, if you want this tool, here's this tool. If you want this tool, here's this tool. And building on that is just so hard to do for people these days because everyone's so set in their ways and they don't appreciate change and growth.
Well, it's funny you say that. The first module for my so I broke my I call it a journey, not a course, because I think course is just, I don't like doing courses. They have tests, and I'd rather go on a journey. You know.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, the first quest I have, we talk about whether you're inspired or aspiring, because when you're aspiring, you know, you have imposter syndrome. You know, you don't think you're that person, but if you're inspired, you just do it, and by doing it, you become it. Instead of faking it till you make it, you do it till you are it.
Well, that's it's so funny you say that.
Is, you have to have either a fixed or growth mindset, you know, because a fixed is, this is who I am, this is where I go, this is what I listen to, this is what I know. And, you know, it's the age-old thing they say, some people die when they're in their early 20s and they're not buried till they're in their 60s. You know?
The old Muhammad Ali saying where the, what is it, the 40-year-old that sees through the eyes of a 20-year-old has wasted 20 years of their life.
Yeah. And just a growth mindset is just understanding it's like, okay, well, if I want to be a world-traveling famous musician, like, what does that entail? Okay, well, if I get some friends and some fans that can come to my shows and I can sell out some shows, and if I can practice and get better and I can get noticed by a bigger touring band, then I can go with them and I learn and I get a bigger fan base. Like, it's step by step, like, you know, but
not an instant
if you're
satisfaction.
in a fixed mindset, you're like, either you get discovered or you're nothing, and I'm nothing because I'm not discovered.
Well, yeah, you're never going to build success like that. This is a very sad way to go if you're looking at numbers all the time and I guess stuff like that. Shouldn't be about how many numbers you get on a playlist. It should be about the impact that you have on an individual. And I've always sort of, when I was in the band and stuff like that, it was like, we never really had anyone sort of playing, but it was like, if I got through to one person that night, then I'd done my job.
Yeah, and like, prime examples, like, you ever gone on like a road trip?
Yeah.
Prime example is like that. Imagine going on a road trip. If you just go from where you go to the destination, it's kind of boring. But if you do some stops and some side stops and you have some random adventures, that usually makes the trip, and it's usually better than the destination. Yeah.
It's so true. I don't know if my buddy Timmy's watching, but this old bass player in my band, I'll tell you a story. We went for a trip up to Queensland and we got hit in Mackay and there was roadworks and we went, let's go take a detour. And we ended up... oh, mate. We ended up in the middle of the New England National State Forest.
Yeah.
With a Mazda 3 just after the massive rains. So we were going down hills and we were sliding out and nearly going over cliffs and stuff like that. And we pulled up to a little stop area. Me and my buddy Timmy, my old bass player, we got out the car and we're like, we had our now wives with us. They were just girlfriends back then. We go, oh, we're just going to go have a cigarette in the corner and we'll be back. And we started having a cigarette and we started freaking out together in the corner. We go, oh shit, I don't know if we're going to get out of here, man. Oh shit, what are we going to do? Oh shit, what are we going to do? And then we heard a four-wheel drive come up from like this little passage. And we're like, man, we're lost. We're nearly out of fuel. Please help. He's like, we'll get you back there. That made it was a 15-hour trip up to Queensland, but it was the best story that I could ever tell. So yes, life isn't about smooth road. It's all about the bumps and the forks and stuff like that. And that's such a good aspect that you take on life, man. But do you ever struggle? Like, in all seriousness, do you ever really like... Because, fuck, it's hard to stay positive sometimes, man. It is just like... Because that's the one... Like, my mum... Love my mum to death, and she's always like, you just got to stay positive. But, like I said, I'm a little bit of an anarchist and a realist and stuff like that. So, tend to sort of swing towards the negative side of some things. Yeah. Or about a lot of things. But my whole theory on life is that there's no point in pushing down anger and then layering it down with positivity. 100%. Because then you start, it's like a cake, I guess, but the cake's going to explode. It's not going to end well. So my whole theory on it is just let the anger out and let it go straight over there, and then we'll try and build on the positivity and just try and get a clean layer going. Do you ever find it really hard to sort of maintain that? Because you're so high energy, like you're larger than life, man. Like, do you ever find, like, in all seriousness, do you ever find it like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that. So I've been through it a lot, and first time it happened was when I was in Florida. I became like this positive, happy, smiling, outgoing guy, and I was always that guy. And you know, I went through some really bad breakups. I lost my best friend at 22, and like I just wasn't that person. And I felt like this double heaviness because it was like I couldn't be this positive, happy person. Everybody wanted me to be that person, and I couldn't put it on. And I just judged myself because I wasn't that person. And that's like I told you earlier, like that's when I learned the realization, like, you know, life is ups and downs, and I put my best foot forward with people because I'm infinitely patient with people and I try my best, but I am not patient when it comes to what matters to me. And what matters to me is growing. And that means, you know, embracing the lows. Yeah, I have sometimes when I'm super down and I'm low, but I have my tools, and my tools are I'll go and play piano, you know, I'll go down to the beach and go for a swim, you know, I'll call somebody I love and I'll just have a chat with them. And when those things happen, when we go through it, the realization you have is that is life. Like some of my biggest lows inspire my biggest highs afterwards. Like my breakdowns lead to breakthroughs, and I may not be, sometimes I'm not happy and positive. You know what I do? I stay home and I read, or I get space from things, and I try to have a breath because I don't have to put on a front. I just need to be honest with myself, and if I honestly don't feel it, I'm not there. Like I have space to breathe, and I just kind of remind myself, like, my thoughts and feelings are part of me, but they're not me. And in this moment, I don't feel I'm me. But that's okay, because whatever I'm feeling is an opportunity to learn, to heal, to let go, and to just accept where I am, because what you resist persists. And if you have to be this positive, happy person, you end up judging yourself so hard, you judge everybody else even harsher without knowing it.
Man, that is real shit. I guess that's taken of the whole aspect of well, no, I guess it takes from the whole aspect of if I can get through it, why can't you? You know, when you take that sort of negative approach to positivity, it was like, I got through it, you can get through it, but you don't understand that person's concept or moment or their experience to why they feel this way in this moment and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think it's understanding it's okay not to be okay. Like, I can tell you, like, a year ago when my guitar was stolen and I was down in the dumps, I I was smoking too much pot. I didn't like the world. I was in a negative place. Like, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I wasn't who I am. But through that, it inspired me to create this program I created. Through that, I wrote beautiful music. Through that, I realize why I'm alive. And it's that deeper purpose of, if you focus on yourself, you break, because things will always come. We were talking about this today. There'll always be a problem to solve. There'll always be something going against whatever you want. But if you just take a breath, you know, and you let go and you just are present with your life, like, you get out of your head and then you start looking at the birds or the sunrise, or you know, somebody, you know, lets you cut in front of line and they smile at you and you smile back. Like, those little things are what break you out of those cycles, sitting on those rocking chair of worry that gets you nowhere. Just going back and forth, sitting in one place trying to rehash something. Like, you think you're going somewhere, but all you're doing is just sitting on your porch going nowhere. You know?
I like that. The rocking chair of anger that just rocks back and forth. I like that.
Yeah,
That's a
my mom would always say, she's like,
man,
get off your rocking chair, worry, and go rock the world with who you're meant to be.
Man, I love that. I love that. And you know what? The big thing is that you've got the fallback. You know, like, because I was talking about this with Jackie Williams from Chip Sitter last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and man, the guy's a bro, man. The guy's a bro, man. The guy, I like him, man. He's a cool dude. I'm gonna have him back on, and we're gonna talk some psychedelic stuff later on. It's gonna be a really good stream.
Dude, we stood at Jimna, man. I've been a psychonaut for years.
Yeah, we'll be talking heaps of stuff. I don't dabble anymore, but if there's some greenery around, hey, I'm in. But yeah, as far as man, look, I'm not gonna lie, I was a big fan of acid, but 12 hours of my time, just I'm not getting it back. And that's the thing with acid. It's like you take it 12 hours. It's like from the time you take it, you've got 12 hours. It does not matter what you do. It is like if you take it at 2 o'clock in the morning, you were up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It does not matter what you fucking do. You can't get out of it. Which I was comfortable with at the time. I'm not comfortable with now.
Yeah, there's this saying. So I've always been the trip sitter because I'm always looking guiding people. And then I mean, like when I was like a teenager, like growing up in Florida, I grew my hair long. I wanted to be Jim Morris, and I was eating mushrooms like they were going out of fashion. And I was tripping like, we go to the desert, man. It's
this is the thing. Keep going. Sorry.
Well, no, it's all good. What you're saying, like the 12-hour thing, my friend told me an analogy I love because I was having a bad trip. He's like, "Johan, you ever been on an airplane?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, you're on the trip airplane, and you freak out. You're not going to be able to leave the plane.
The best
You're going to
analogy.
be there for the next couple hours. Your bags are checked. You're ready to go. Sit back and enjoy the in-flight entertainment and ride, and know soon you're going to land at your destination. You're going to get out. It's all going to be gone."
That is the best description of taking trips that I've ever heard. It does, like you're on the flight. You've had your boarding pass. That's it. You hit there, you're gone.
Oh, brother. Hey, I want to keep chatting, but I just looked at the time. We got sunrise. We're doing this meditation, but I want to like the next 10, 15, 20 minutes if we got questions or anything.
All right, I don't know why, but I have questions.
Yeah, so let's get to these questions.
All right.
I've always missed the sunrise meditation.
Don't miss it today.
And like, I'm looking at the time and I'm like, oh no, I gotta make sure I make this one because it's so good.
You're making it. I guarantee that. Okay, so we'll wrap this up. We'll get this wrapped up because I like to have
also,
like a
real quick, cheers to you, brother. I love you, man. Thanks for having us on, man.
Cheers to you, dude. I really look at the end. Like I keep saying, the end of the day, there is nothing more than I love than talking to artists, musicians, all stuff like that. The impact and the change that musicians have had on the world is unfallible. Music has had so much power. Like music is, as far as I'm concerned, music is the most powerful fucking thing in the world. Otherwise, the FBI, you wouldn't have fucking used it in Waco.
Yeah.
Music is the most powerful thing in the world. In saying that, what I want from you, Johan, is to just project a little bit more love into the world. So for any recording artists out there, and this is what, like, anyone that's just wondering on whether they should start writing music or any shit like that, I want to know the motto. I want to know the Johan motto that gets him up. The shitty cliche ass line. You know what I'm talking about? I want to know that. I want to know what gets you out of bed every day in a new country, doing what you're doing and going through the starving artist thing because COVID, as far as I was concerned, separated the players from the stayers.
Yeah.
And it is as simple as that. They shut down for 2 years. A lot of bands broke up and a lot of bands went, I'm going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what is the Johan motto to get through every single day, get into the studio, get the work done?
There's a saying I love, which is it's a mantra I have. And this goes from my heart out to anybody who watches it that is debating about music or has a rough day. And this is a prayer that may every sunrise bring you hope and every sunset bring you peace. Because the realization is There's a lot of reasons why we do music. Maybe we want to be seen, we want to be famous, we want to impress people. There's so many reasons, but at the core of it, we want to express ourselves. And it's tough being a musician because as a musician, you dive into the emotions that most people numb and ignore. And the best music comes from us diving into that. So your breakdown will be a breakthrough. Like, was it Paul McCartney wrote Let It Be after the Beatles were breaking up? He had a nervous breakdown. Like, some of the realization we need to have is like the difference between, being where we are and where we want to be is just action. And behind that action is the understanding that we matter and what we do matters. And even if it's for yourself, like whatever music you write, like I've had to do this where I was in Nashville and I was touring and I was wanting to write these hits and I lost myself and I was wanting to be seen, and it became a vacuum of emptiness because I was not really connecting to the truth of what I was going through. And a lot of artists I see are trying to mimic people they see. Like a friend of mine, he's an amazing guy and he's trying to go with the Joneses and be like, the cool rappers, and he's trying to be just like they are. But we told him, like, dude, like if you told him you were rapping about the fact that, you live out at your van and you're trying to make it happen and you were really authentic, like you tell your story and people will connect deeply with it because it's real. And I think as an artist, that's what you have to do, is not worry what people think. Just worry about telling your story, because you could die any day. And if you can just tell your story through music, and the best music you hear and you listen to shares an experience. It's a love story. It's a down moment when they got up. It's a good day they had. Like, it's not the story of their life. It's a story of a moment, because all life is moments. And if you make those moments matter, you remind yourself you matter. And when you feel you matter, you wake up with purpose. You wake up with direction. But if you don't focus on the little things, focus on the little things, the big things will weigh you down. But it's the little things that our songs are about. Like Pharrell, because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room. And then like even Seven Dust, all the bands write songs about just an experience they had. Like Steve Tyler's Sweet Emotion was about like his kid. Like, if you're really present in your life, life will give you so much inspiration that you will never run out of something to say or a song to write. And that's what music is about. Like I saw Bush the other day with Gavin Rossdale and I got to see Glycerine.
No.
Yeah, and
Bush is in Australia?
They just toured and just played Bush. And
I'm looking that up after this.
Me back to like, music is magic. So chase the magic. Chase the feeling, like that feeling where you're connecting to God, whatever it is, something bigger, like that makes everything else disappear. That's what music is about. It's going on stage, playing on stage with your friends, and truly like creating something that's beyond words, something that the audience feels, like having something that is magical. Like that is all music is. It's not here, it's here. And the more you do that, the more you can feel what's in here, and nothing in here can stop you.
Mate, no better words could ever be said. If you want, mate, the only reason why, look, the big reason why I say that is because you left the capitalist corporate world to transcend into something that you wanted to be. And there is so much respect for that. It would have been so easy to stay on the six figures, big money, blah, blah, blah. Man, it would have been mad. But that's when you end up becoming this empty shell of a person, and harder drugs taken into consideration. And I'm being dead serious, because you look at most of those people, it's like, this is what I ended up being, but this is what I wanted to be. And
and to be honest, like I went through that, and I personally think people need to understand and accept that most of society is not made for us to be ourselves. Most of people are being pressured. People are going through a lot, and they're looking to friends and family, and they're asking them what to do and be, and they're giving them the best advice they have, which is what society provides us, which is get your job, do this and do that. And I think we're going in a renaissance, in my opinion, in time, and it's coming to the realization that if you don't feel okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's really just understanding what makes you feel alive, what you get lost doing, what makes you feel, alive. And for me, music was that. And sure, it's been a weird journey where sometimes I didn't play music and I hated music and it was numb. And I had to listen to podcasts, and that led to what I'm doing now with my course. And my friend said it best, like, life is not a straight line, it's a zigzag. And the more you can zig and zag and not stress, the less you're being like pushed. Like, prime example is if you ever go whitewater rafting, they say you need to relax your body, because if you're stiff, you'll hit the rocks and you'll fly off. But if you relax your body, you'll flow with it and you'll go with it and you'll get to where you need to be safely.
I love it. I love it. I love every single bit of it, man. We could sit here and talk all night about the beauties of the world.
We should have like a session one time and just go, and it's just
dude. I'm coming up. I'm not bringing cameras. I'm bringing phones, because phones just film so good these days. But I want to get photos of us together.
We're in person. We can hang in person and do that.
Dude, we are so going to do it. We are so going to do it. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to meet every single one of you beautiful people. Man, Johan, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep projecting that energy into the world, because, yeah, I'm a sucker for a sad story. But hearing a bit of light out of that is something that not a lot of people get out of these days. And if you can help someone just get through a moment, like you said, then you've done everything you can. Johan, I want you to give a big goodbye to everyone, and we're going to call it. We're going to call the night.
And just real quick to close, what I want to say is, like, the biggest thing that I've learned in my life, my friend, is take it step by step and day by day. Just empty your head. Everything will be okay. Stay true to yourself to never stray. It'll all be okay. Tomorrow's a new day.
Those are song lyrics.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song. Okay, so I'm going to do my thing now. I'm going to run the intro, then we're going to have a chat for 5 minutes, and then you can go do whatever you want. But let me do this. If you haven't, go get your tickets to Jimna. Go check out Dakota Soul. Please, look at it. Jimna Rocks 2022. Be there, get square. BYO, camping, food. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be there. So if you're from Sydney, just come fucking... But don't be a jerk, because there's security there. So you got to still... It's a family event, so you still got to be like sort of tame. All right, champions? Catch us all soon. We're going to have another very, very good Jimna podcast soon. Say bye. Run the outro. Take it easy, you champions.